You're listening to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, created to help you succeed in your Security Plus certification journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional prepcasts, books, and training materials await. Let's get started. Asset monitoring refers to the continuous observation of systems, devices, and resources within an organization to ensure that their state and activity remain aligned with expectations. Real-time visibility is essential for security operations because threats often move faster than manual processes can respond. Without monitoring, assets can drift into insecure states or even be compromised without detection. Attackers exploit blind spots, knowing that unobserved systems often remain vulnerable longer. Hardened environments treat asset monitoring as a frontline defense, ensuring administrators know not only what exists but also what is happening on those systems at any given moment. The scope of assets to track extends well beyond traditional servers. Endpoints such as laptops and desktops are equally critical, as are networking devices like routers and switches. In modern organizations, cloud instances, virtual machines, and container hosts add dynamic layers that appear and disappear rapidly. IoT devices and embedded systems often join networks quietly, but they too require monitoring due to their potential vulnerabilities. Comprehensive tracking means that any system capable of connecting to the environment is part of the monitoring scope. Hardened operations avoid narrow definitions of assets and instead include every component in visibility plans. Canonical identifiers ensure consistent tracking across tools and systems. These identifiers include hostnames, asset IDs, and tags that remain consistent even if assets are moved or reconfigured. Without standard identifiers, data from different systems cannot be reliably correlated, leading to blind spots. For example, a cloud API may identify an instance differently than an endpoint detection system. By enforcing canonical tags or IDs, organizations unify visibility and ensure that every log, event, or alert can be traced back to the correct asset. Hardened environments build this discipline into provisioning workflows from the start. Automated discovery methods are essential to keep pace with modern environments. Network scans identify active devices, while agent-based telemetry provides deeper insights from endpoints. Cloud APIs reveal virtual assets and ephemeral workloads that traditional methods may miss. Together, these feeds ensure no device joins the environment unnoticed. Attackers often exploit unmanaged or shadow IT devices that escape traditional processes. By continuously discovering assets through multiple methods, organizations reduce the likelihood of blind spots. Hardening relies on automation because manual processes cannot match the speed and scale of today's dynamic infrastructures. Reconciliation ensures that discovered assets align with official inventories, such as configuration management databases. When discovery tools identify a device not listed in the CMDB, it signals a potential gap, either a misconfigured record, a shadow system, or an unauthorized device. Reconciliation processes update records, assign ownership, or flag anomalies for investigation. Without reconciliation, inventories quickly fall out of sync with reality, creating false confidence. Hardened environments treat reconciliation as a routine process, ensuring asset records remain living documents that reflect actual deployments, not static spreadsheets disconnected from daily operations. Heartbeat signals and health metrics provide indicators of asset availability and degradation. A heartbeat is a simple status check, confirming that a system is still alive and responsive. Health metrics go further, capturing CPU usage, memory consumption, or storage levels to indicate stress or failure. When these signals stop or degrade, monitoring tools raise alerts. Hardened environments depend on these metrics to spot outages quickly, preventing attackers from hiding compromised systems by disabling visibility. Health monitoring also supports resilience by ensuring systems remain both available and trustworthy for business operations. Software and hardware asset records support both licensing compliance and vulnerability management. Without accurate records, organizations may overpay for unused software or risk fines for exceeding license limits. More critically, vulnerability databases rely on knowledge of specific software and hardware versions to identify risks. If assets are not recorded, vulnerabilities remain unpatched. Hardened monitoring ensures that records remain current, enabling timely patching and informed financial decisions. Tracking both software and hardware assets provides visibility into the complete environment, bridging compliance and security in one consolidated process. Tagging and metadata practices capture ownership, classification, and environmental context. Tags can indicate whether an asset is production or development, who owns it, and how sensitive its data is. Without this metadata, alerts and reports lack context, leaving analysts to guess at priority. With proper tagging, anomalies can be triaged effectively. Production databases tagged as restricted will receive higher priority than development systems tagged as test. Hardened organizations make tagging part of provisioning, ensuring every asset carries the metadata needed to inform both security and operations. Integration between asset inventory and detection tooling is a critical bridge. Security information and event management platforms rely on knowing which assets exist to correlate logs and detect anomalies. Endpoint detection and response systems need to map their telemetry back to inventory records. Without integration, alerts may appear but cannot be tied to real owners or classifications, delaying response. Hardened environments create seamless pipelines between inventories and detection tools, ensuring that every signal can be enriched with context. This integration turns raw events into actionable intelligence. Alert thresholds define when anomalies become significant enough to trigger action. Unexpected asset changes, such as a new network interface appearing, may indicate compromise or unauthorized modification. The sudden appearance of new assets may signal rogue devices joining the network. Orphaned systems, those without assigned owners, also trigger alerts since they lack accountability. Defining thresholds prevents analysts from being overwhelmed by noise while still surfacing meaningful deviations. Hardened monitoring balances sensitivity with specificity, ensuring defenders focus on signals that matter most. Finally, asset monitoring supports automated quarantine and containment when anomalies appear. If a device is discovered that does not match inventory or exhibits suspicious behavior, automated systems can isolate it from the network until it is investigated. This prevents attackers from using rogue or compromised assets to spread laterally. Quarantine provides time for defenders to validate whether an anomaly is benign or malicious without risking broader exposure. Hardened environments embrace automation at this stage, ensuring that containment occurs faster than manual intervention would allow. This rapid response makes monitoring not only informative but also protective. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Establishing baseline behavior for assets is critical to detecting compromises. Baselines define what normal looks like for a given system, such as its usual network traffic, CPU usage, or login patterns. Once baselines are set, deviations can be flagged as suspicious. For example, if a file server suddenly begins sending large amounts of outbound traffic to an unknown IP, the deviation signals possible exfiltration. Hardened monitoring systems continuously compare real-time behavior to baselines, ensuring that anomalies do not blend into routine activity. This context-sensitive approach reduces false positives and sharpens focus on real threats. Centralized telemetry collection strengthens defenses by aggregating logs and signals from across the enterprise. When telemetry is centralized, analysts can correlate events from servers, endpoints, cloud systems, and IoT devices in a single view. A failed login attempt on one system may seem minor, but when correlated with suspicious traffic elsewhere, it becomes part of a larger attack story. Hardened environments treat centralized telemetry as essential for uncovering patterns that individual systems alone cannot reveal. Without centralization, attackers exploit siloed visibility, moving undetected across fragmented monitoring systems. Time series data provides valuable insights into issues that develop gradually. Unlike snapshots that capture a single point in time, time series tracking shows how asset metrics evolve. Slowly increasing memory consumption might reveal a memory leak, while a gradual rise in network traffic could indicate a stealthy data exfiltration attempt. Time series data also supports forensic investigations, helping analysts understand when abnormal behavior began. Hardened environments use this longitudinal view to catch problems early and to reconstruct incidents accurately. Monitoring assets over time is as important as monitoring them in the moment. Asset lifecycle tracking ensures visibility, from procurement through decommissioning. An asset should be tracked the moment it is ordered, provisioned, and onboarded, through its active use, and finally into retirement. Each stage carries unique security implications. Provisioning must include secure configuration, production requires monitoring, and decommissioning demands data wiping and access revocation. Without lifecycle tracking, assets may remain invisible during transitions, creating blind spots. Hardened organizations embed monitoring into every phase, ensuring that assets remain visible and accountable throughout their existence, not just during steady-state operation. Asset tags also play a role in policy enforcement. For example, tags can determine patch windows, with production assets patched on expedited schedules, while development assets follow longer cycles. Tags can also drive backup policies, ensuring critical systems receive more frequent protection than low-priority ones. By encoding policies into metadata, organizations automate compliance and reduce the chance of human oversight. Hardened environments treat tagging as more than labeling. It becomes a governance mechanism that ensures policies consistently reach the right assets at the right times. Role-based dashboards empower owners by showing them the security posture of their assets. Instead of overwhelming system administrators with global views, dashboards focus on the systems they are responsible for. Owners can see whether their assets are patched, compliant with configurations, or generating alerts. This alignment between monitoring tools and ownership reinforces accountability, ensuring that those responsible for assets have the visibility they need. Hardened environments understand that monitoring only works if actionable insights reach the right hands. Dashboards make monitoring personal, linking responsibility with situational awareness. Automated alerts for configuration drift, unauthorized software, and unexpected exposure changes extend monitoring beyond uptime into compliance. Drift occurs when assets deviate from baselines, such as firewall rules being altered or services being re-enabled. Unauthorized software installation may indicate either policy violations or malware infections. Exposure changes, such as an internal asset suddenly opening a public port, demand immediate attention. Hardened monitoring systems automate the detection of these conditions, reducing reliance on manual checks. By surfacing these deviations early, organizations prevent small misconfigurations from escalating into serious vulnerabilities. Integration with patch management systems ensures vulnerabilities discovered through monitoring translate into prioritized remediation. If monitoring shows that a critical asset is running outdated software, patching tools can immediately target it for updates. This alignment prevents gaps where vulnerabilities are identified but not addressed. Hardened organizations create closed loops between detection and remediation, ensuring findings do not stagnate. Monitoring without integration can overwhelm teams with alerts, but with integration, those alerts directly trigger corrective action, streamlining security and reducing mean time to repair. Anomaly detection tuned per asset class helps reduce false positives. A developer's workstation, a production web server, and a database cluster all have different normal behaviors. Applying the same thresholds across them creates noise, overwhelming analysts. Instead, detection rules should be specific to each class, calibrated to their expected workloads and risks. Hardened environments tune their tools carefully, ensuring anomalies flagged truly represent potential threats. By contextualizing detection, organizations improve both efficiency and accuracy, keeping analysts focused on real issues rather than chasing benign variations in behavior. Audit trails and evidence capture transform asset monitoring into an investigative tool. Every significant event, such as ownership changes, configuration updates, or access anomalies, should be logged with integrity protections. When incidents occur, these logs provide the forensic foundation for reconstructing what happened. Hardened environments not only collect logs but also secure them against tampering and ensure they remain accessible long enough to support investigations. Auditability ensures accountability, proving that monitoring is not just happening, but that it can stand up to legal, regulatory, and operational scrutiny. Reporting metrics highlight the health of asset monitoring programs. Coverage metrics show what percentage of assets are actively tracked. Stale or inactive asset counts reveal where blind spots may exist. Discovery to inventory latency measures how quickly new assets are captured in monitoring systems. These metrics provide executives and auditors with tangible evidence of program maturity. Hardened organizations treat monitoring as a measurable control, using reporting to identify strengths, reveal weaknesses, and demonstrate progress over time. Without measurement, asset monitoring risks becoming reactive instead of continuously improving. Continuous improvement loops complete the monitoring cycle. Feedback from monitoring highlights areas where discovery rules need refining, tags need updating, or response playbooks require adjustment. For example, repeated false positives from anomaly detection can be used to tune thresholds. Lessons from incidents inform stronger tagging policies or automated quarantine procedures. By incorporating feedback, organizations ensure monitoring evolves with their environment rather than stagnating. Hardened environments embrace monitoring as a living process, one that adapts to new assets, emerging threats, and evolving technologies through constant refinement. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.